It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. Let's get out of here. Aye.
Hey everyone, it's Aaron from God a Minute, and I just want to show you how awesome and precise God is. This is an exciting thing. This is a faith builder. There's something called the appointed times. It's called the Ha-Moedim. Ha-Moedim, the appointed times. And what are they? And so it says in Leviticus 23, verse 2. I'm just going to read this. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, the feasts of the Lord, the Ha-Moedims, which you shall proclaim to be holy convocations. These are my moeds, or my moedims, my appointed times." And it goes on to talk about the Sabbath. 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is a Sabbath of solemn rest, a holy convocation. You shall do no work on it. It is a Sabbath of the Lord. So basically every 7 days is a Sabbath. And so what we have here in our chart is, this is a list of the Sabbaths, but I'm going to show you something so profound that only God could have ordained this, that the letters are skipped. The letters in Genesis 1 spell this every 70 letters. But first we're going to talk about this. If you go through Leviticus 23, you'll see that God talks about his Ha-Moedims, his appointed times with mankind, the dress rehearsals. And a few of these are, they're called mikras. They're called holy convocations. Mikra Kodesh. I'll get my other chart. We have this chart, and this is the times that are appointed. That are these are the times when you would the Mikra Kodesh is the high times, the 3 times a year that you're supposed to come to the Lord. The first and seventh day of unleavened bread, the Feast of Weeks, and the Feast of Tabernacles. I think that'll be fulfilled second coming. And so these are the feasts of the Lord. These are God's appointments with mankind, and they are not Jewish feast days. They are the feasts of the Lord, as we just read earlier. They're the feasts of the Lord. Okay, the feasts of the Lord, the Ha-Moedims of the Lord, the appointments of God. Now, we're not living by the law by looking at these feast days. We're just looking at what God instituted for mankind. So we're going to the appointed times, and this is a list of the appointed times. So we've got the weekly Sabbaths. Every 7 days, you're going to have a Sabbath. So within a calendar year, you're going to have 52 to 53 Sabbaths, depending on how the Saturday falls in the year. Most years have 52. Sometimes you get 53. Passover is a one-day event on Nisan 14, according to Leviticus 23. Then you have unleavened bread, which is the 15th day. It's 7-day feast. But what I did was I put 6 here because, one of these days is guaranteed to be a Sabbath, right? So we're doing a count here. So one of the days is already accounted for over there. So that's why we put 6 here. Feast of Weeks is a one-day event. It's on a Sunday. It's always going to be the day after the Sabbath, which is a Saturday. The Feast of Trumpets is a one-day event. Day of Atonement is a one-day event. Feast of Tabernacles is 7:15 to 7:21. And again, one of those days will inevitably be a Sabbath, which is already accounted for over here. And then we've got the 8th day of assembly, which is known as Shemini Atzeret. And this is all these events are accounted for in Leviticus 23. So if you add it all up, if you add up the weekly Sabbaths, and there happens to be 53 in a year, well, then you're going to get a total of 70. And if you add up 52 Sabbaths in a year, you're going to get 69. So let's go show you how perfect God is. I got all this stuff from Chuck Missler from an old video. He tucked it away in one of his videos, and it was kind of overlooked. It just was, we need to put attention on this because God is real. Jesus is real. He's coming back soon. And this is how amazing and how perfect God is. He's not random. In Genesis 1, the creation story, when God created the whole world in 6 days and then he rested on the 7th day, that's when the Sabbath was instituted, right in the beginning of creation. And ever since creation, he's been having a Sabbath every 7 days. In the middle of Genesis chapter 1, specifically in Hebrew, between verses 8 through 14, he codes Ha-Moedim every 70 letters. And so here it is. I'll zoom in a bit here. And you can see that the first Hebrew letter right here is, we should start here. That's actually a Hey. So Hey, there's your Mem. Okay, that's 70 letter skip. If you just count from there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can do the counting if you want to freeze this. These little notches right here are not, these are just inflections. This little thing sideways is not a Hebrew letter, okay? But then there's 70 to there, and then you start the count again from Mem, and then you turn the page, and then you've got the count from, it ends up being a Vav is the next one, and then you've got your Ayin, then you do another 70, then you got your Dalet, then you do another count of 70, then you got your Yod, then you got your another count, which is a Mem. So in the creation story, in the middle of the creation story, God had said that his appointments with mankind there'll be 70 in a year by giving us a equidistant letter skip in Hebrew. Every 70 letters it says Ha Moedim, my appointed times. 7 times 70 is 490. 490. And remember what we talked about with Feast of Weeks? The word for complete in Feast of Weeks, 7 Sabbaths shall be completed. That word is tamim, and that means that the value of tamim is 490. And isn't that perfect? So God is complete. God is perfect. And so it is a perfect thing to understand that there are 70 appointed times every year to meet before the Lord. That is God's code. He hid it in Genesis 1 in his creation story, talking about the Sabbath. Now, if you think that there's 4 and only 4 Sabbaths each month, well, then you're cutting yourself short about 4 Sabbaths every year. And then you're only going to have about 66 Sabbaths in a year. 66 appointed times within a year, and that's not what God told us. So God told us that there would be 70 appointed times per year based on his coding in Hebrew. And he told us all his appointed times in Leviticus 23, his Mikra Kodeshes and his appointed times, his weekly Sabbaths, and the 7 feasts of the Lord, the 7 essential feasts of the Lord. And he spaced it out 70 times 7, 490, which is another word for tamim, which means completion and perfection. God is perfect. And so this is just awesome. This is just awesome. I just wanted to show you how perfect God is. And I'll also tell you the reason why I got this Hebrew Bible to begin with. The most exciting thing, this doesn't get old. There are 7 words at the beginning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Jesus came as our Aleph and died on the cross at the 4,000th year, and he's going to come back at the 6,000th year to bring in his millennial kingdom. He's going to bring heaven to earth. And he already told us with this coding right here. And the red here, that is just another fun thing. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The word Torah is spaced every 50 letter spaces with the red here. So here's Torah. Isn't that perfect? Every 50 letters. Genesis has a 50-letter skip. Exodus has a 50-letter skip. Leviticus has an 8-letter skip pointing to Christ. Numbers has a 50-letter skip. Deuteronomy has a 49-letter skip spelling Torah. 50 times 50 times 8 times 50 times 49 equals 49 million. Another completion and perfection of our Father and our Creator. If you times Torah times behold the hand, behold the nail, but times Torah, in the spacing that it equals 49 million, which equals completion. All right, so let me just show you that to Leviticus. Is it Leviticus? It's the first phrase in Leviticus. It's behold the hand, behold the nail right here in Leviticus, pointing to that. So there's your yod. And there's your behold, the hey and the vav. It's the yod and the vav and the behold, Jehovah, Yahweh. So Jesus is the center of everything. Everything points to Christ. So it goes Torah, Christ, Torah, 50 times 50 times 8 times 50 times 49 is 49 million. And that's God. That's perfection. I just wanted to highlight how awesome God is. 70 appointed times in a calendar year. And that's the way God rolls. Perfect. You can't get any more perfect than that. So that's in Hebrew. If you want to know what Bible I'm using, it's the Hebrew Interlinear Bible. I pray we're out of here soon. Pray we see you in the clouds soon. We are one day closer. Get tight with Christ. Go Jesus, go. Adios, muchachos.